One of the most important elements of a properly deployed Novo Pro system is the network setup. Novo Pro can create its own standalone network, but offers many advantages when connected to an infrastructure network, including seamless login and guest access. This training will review the settings and options for network deployment, including the connection options, firewall settings, and the remote manager software. Let's begin by reviewing the various network connection options so that a proper selection and configuration can be determined for your particular installation. Novo Pro supports 3 different network connection types: Ethernet, Wi-Fi client mode, and Wi-Fi hotspot mode. While Novo Pro incorporates the latest Wi-Fi technology and performance based on 802.11ac, Ethernet is always the preferred connection method due to its robust, high bandwidth, and consistent operation. Let's take a look at each connection method, starting with Ethernet. After connecting an Ethernet cable and starting the Novo Pro, you will see the desktop screen as shown here. The area highlighted in red shows the Ethernet IP address, which indicates that the Novo Pro has connected to Ethernet successfully. By default, the IP address is assigned by the DHCP server on the network, which means that no configuration is needed for the Ethernet connection other than plugging in an Ethernet cable. Of course, you can set up a static IP address as well, which may be preferred. The image on the right shows the setup interface to choose between DHCP and static IP. To find these settings, you access the device settings from the desktop using the supplied remote or ideally using a mouse-type controller. Novo Pro has standard mouse and keyboard drivers installed, so it will work with a standard mouse and keyboard options, including the touch of an interactive flat panel or projector. For setting up network connections and installation, the use of a wireless keyboard-mouse combination is a recommended option. Follow the list of menu selections seen in this slide to arrive at the settings page. Here you can set the IP address using an appropriate unallocated IP address. Please note that if your network configuration includes separate subnets for Novo Pro and the wireless access points used to connect clients to the network, that AirPlay will require further implementation. You can find a white paper on enabling iOS mirroring in a multiple subnet environment in the Document tab of the Novo Pro web page. The second choice for connecting Novo Pro to your network is by using the integrated Wi-Fi to connect to your network as a client, which provides the same capacity of 64 connected users per session and allows access to the resources configured on your network, including network file servers and internet as configured by the network administrator. This option requires that users connect to the infrastructure wireless access point, utilizing the credentials configured for other network access, and does not provide a direct peer-to-peer connection to participants via the Wi-Fi SSID built into Novo Pro. Novo Pro is a client on the same Wi-Fi network as the participant devices. This page shows how to connect Novo Pro to your infrastructure Wi-Fi network. Step 1. Click the Wi-Fi button on the home screen. Step 2. Choose Connect to Wi-Fi option and apply. You will then see a list of available Wi-Fi network SSIDs. Choose the appropriate one and enter the required credentials to connect Novo Pro to the selected network. Your organization's Wi-Fi network may use a captive portal to authorize network access. This is common in hotels, convention centers, and other public environments. If your company uses a captive portal, Novo Pro supports this usage scenario. Click on the browser icon to bring up the web browser to start the process, and you will be directed to the appropriate login page. Use the back button to return to Novo Pro's home page. Another supported login mechanism used by newer Wi-Fi networks is 802.1x, which is also supported by Novo Pro. The image on the right illustrates the information you would need to fill in when connecting Novo Pro to a Wi-Fi network of this type. This pop-up will appear after selecting the appropriate SSID when configuring the Wi-Fi connection. After selecting to turn Wi-Fi on, choose Configure and you will see the available networks. Use the username and password provided by your network administrator to connect Novo Pro to this network with access privileges configured by the authentication server. Wi-Fi hotspot mode is the default Wi-Fi configuration on Novo Pro. This option allows users to connect directly to Novo Pro without connecting to the infrastructure network and is limited to 8 participants. Once it is enabled by selecting the Wi-Fi menu from the desktop and choosing hotspot mode, you can see on the home screen the SSID and IP address, which is always 192.168.43.1. Please be aware that Miracast for native Android mirroring is disabled in Wi-Fi hotspot mode. Novo Pro devices equipped with firmware version 2.2 and above have additional features for configuring the Wi-Fi hotspot operation. First, you can change the Wi-Fi channel, which could reduce wireless interference significantly. Second, if you enable LAN Wi-Fi hotspot routing, this will piggyback your Ethernet connection, which enables internet access for those connected to the Novo Pro hotspot. Third, you can configure your own SSID and network password by navigating to the Settings page for Setup Wi-Fi Hotspot. This option allows for proper security and an easily identifiable SSID for each meeting room or classroom. In order to avoid a loss of connection due to Wi-Fi dropouts, we recommend some common guidelines for setting up the Novo Pro in a Wi-Fi hotspot deployment, such as avoiding environmental signal degradation, as well as coverage that may be limited by excessive range. If possible, use the 5 GHz band rather than 2.4 GHz due to its higher bandwidth characteristics, and consider evaluating the available Wi-Fi spectrum via the use of a tool such as Wi-Fi Analyzer, which is available for download for Android. In the example shown, it would be better to select a less crowded channel, such as 11, as it is the least crowded without causing additional interference. One of the advantages of Novo Pro is the flexibility to utilize both Ethernet and Wi-Fi for a dual network configuration. An ideal solution for providing guest participant access is to connect the Novo Pro as a client to the guest Wi-Fi network and use Ethernet to connect to the infrastructure for access from the secure, credentialed employee network. This option ensures that guest participants can connect to the Internet if so provisioned, but prevents access to the secure network. You can also configure dual networks in Novo Pro's Wi-Fi hotspot mode. In this case, by connecting Novo Pro's Ethernet to the intranet, and guest users will connect to the hotspot. One thing worth mentioning is there is an option, LAN Wi-Fi hotspot routing, for the Wi-Fi hotspot. When this is enabled, hotspot traffic can be routed to your wired network to access internet, for example. You may need to consult with your network administrators for this usage. This diagram shows a network topology of Ethernet and Wi-Fi client mode, where Novo Pro's Ethernet LAN is connected to the employee network and its Wi-Fi is connected to the guest Wi-Fi. In this configuration, both guest users and internal employees can participate in Novo Pro collaboration at the same time. This diagram shows a network topology of Ethernet and Wi-Fi hotspot mode, where Novo Pro's Ethernet LAN is connected to the employee network and its Wi-Fi hotspot is enabled for guest users. In comparison, this environment limits the number of users on Wi-Fi to only 8 versus 64 when you've connected via infrastructure Wi-Fi. Disabling the LAN routing feature prevents users connected to the hotspot from accessing the internet or local network resources. Beyond the physical network setup, there are a variety of ports and firewall settings that need to be considered. To enable successful operations of a NovoPro device, these ports should be opened and not blocked by your network's firewall. You should work with your network administrators to sort this out before deploying NovoPros onto your network. This list can be found in the published Network Deployment Guide for NovoPro. In order to remotely manage multiple NovoPro devices on a local network, you should utilize a standalone application called Remote Manager, which is available for download on the NovoPro webpage. The download has been password protected and requires an email request for the password to prevent unauthorized users. This is mostly to prevent students from being curious. Once Remote Manager is properly configured, it can only be accessed at a static IP address. You can find a separate series of videos on Remote Manager Basic and Advanced Operation. NovoPro Remote Manager software is for managing NovoPro devices over the network remotely and is mainly designed for IT teams to add and remove devices using device auto-config files, manage device settings, configure the home screen slideshow, update firmware, configure moderator credentials. The two additional videos titled Remote Manager Basics and Remote Manager Advanced will teach you how to use all the features of Remote Manager. Please be sure to review those videos found on the NovoPro webpage. In relation to the proper network deployment, here we highlight a key feature called Device Auto-Config. This is very important for large-scale deployment. The video Remote Manager Basics also covers this topic. In a small-scale NovoPro deployment, those individual NovoPro devices can be added into Remote Manager manually, one by one. However, in a large-scale deployment, utilizing Device Auto-Config is an ideal solution to help you avoid this labor-intensive process. Basically, NovoPro can be configured in a way that it reports its status to Remote Manager software automatically, which makes device discovery over the network an easy task. The first step after installing Remote Manager at a static IP address on a server is to use Remote Manager to create an auto-configuration file to match your installation environment. This auto-configuration file will contain the information found in the window shown on the right, including Software Edition to select between education and corporate environments, Settings Password to prevent any unauthorized changes on each individual NovoPro device, Wi-Fi SSID and password for connection to infrastructure as a client, and the IP address and port for Remote Manager access. The basic workflow is as follows. First, save the auto-configuration file to a microSD card. Next, insert the microSD card into each NovoPro device. This will then set the Wi-Fi settings and password, as well as cause it to find and to start communicating with Remote Manager in the background. On Remote Manager, you can open Device Discovery to view those live NovoPro devices. Then you have the option to add them to the device list for future management. Please be sure to view the additional training videos related to deployment of NovoPro on the NovoPro webpage.